Thank you for tuning in to the Go Queen brand podcast, the Q Chat. So this episode I actually recorded a few months ago, but anyone that is following my business page, you may have saw that I currently am taking care of a project called the Strong Arm Women's Project. And this interview is actually with Miss Janay White. This is actually how we kind of birthed the project that we're currently working on. It's a current food drive in New Orleans, and we have a few more projects lined up. So this is how the journey started. This is how I met Miss Janay, and she's doing some awesome things, and she is the community plug, and she will have all her contact information. She specializes in helping entrepreneurs all over if they have any type of community service endeavors. She's the person to go to. So go ahead and listen to this interview, and in addition, if you haven't seen on my business brand IG page, I am _Go Queen. Check out the info regarding the Strong Arm Women's Project. Anyone can contribute all over if you guys would like to pitch in, but we will be doing some food drives, and we do have some special projects coming up in December for Christmas too to help families. So stay tuned and let me know what you guys think. So we're doing a new episode of the Q Chat, and I have an awesome guest for my episode today. Her name is Miss Janay White, and she's the founder of this amazing program entitled Girls to D.I.V.A.S Mentoring Program. So I'm excited to talk with Janay, and she's going to give you guys a ton of information on her program and the amazing thing it's doing for young women. How are you doing today, Miss Janay?
I am doing well. No complaints. I won't complain because God's too good to complain.
Oh, yes. So, like I said, I'm so excited to talk with you. So, let's start off let's just put it out there. Let everyone know just break down to us how you started the mentorship program. And I know it's transforming girls to be self-sufficient. And I know you had D.I.V.A.S, and you have the acronym for it. So let's start off with letting everybody know how you started this amazing program and break down the acronym for us.
Definitely. So Girls to D.I.V.A.S Mentoring Program is a free mentoring program for 5th through 12th grade girls. And we offer one-on-one mentoring, monthly enrichment workshops. We do free tutoring. We have career exploration opportunities. And this is all for free. And D.I.V.A.S is an acronym that stands for Driven, Initiative, Virtuous, Astounding, and Successful. And quickly, I didn't have an acronym for D.I.V.A.S when we first started. I ended up making it into an acronym after being, I would say, kind of bullied about it. Like, what's a diva?
Oh, wow.
I don't want my little girl to be a diva. So I was like, all right, well, for the masses, let's just turn it into an acronym so we won't have to have this conversation again. So it kind of worked out though, because I like it.
I get where you're coming from.
It's fitting for the girls.
And it's funny you said that, but I guess I get where you're coming from. I guess for a parent, and I have a daughter too, people, they take the term diva with kids and think it could be a negative thing, but I totally get, that is not, a negative connotation at all.
Yeah,
but I actually love the acronym. And where are you located?
So we're located in Tallahassee, Florida. But we've actually had the opportunity, thanks to COVID, to go beyond Tallahassee. So we've actually been working in Florida, other cities in Florida, in Georgia, even Ohio, in Baltimore. So
that is amazing.
God is doing some work.
That's amazing. Yes. So is that one of your goals, to get it in maybe every state? Are you looking to reach even further states than the ones that you were blessed to touch now due to COVID?
Definitely. Wherever God lands Girls to D.I.V.A.S, wherever the need is, we would like to fulfill that need or do what we can to support. Because the reason why I started Girls to D.I.V.A.S was based on my own experiences in life growing up. One of those reasons was me being diagnosed with lupus, discoid lupus, in the 8th grade. And when I was diagnosed with discoid lupus, the way it showed itself was through my skin, and I broke out on my face and my arms. And I used to get picked on in school, like, is your boyfriend beating up on you? Do you have HIV or AIDS? It was just really ignorant childhood problems, but it affected me in the worst way during that time when you're supposed to be getting your self-esteem built up. So for the longest in Miami, where I'm from, I was wearing long sleeve shirts every day, and I began to wear makeup at a young age because I didn't want people picking on me. But one day I looked in the mirror and I just had a moment. And I was like, it's too hot outside to be wearing long sleeve shirts every day just because some kids at school picking on you. And from that day forward, I just embraced what it was because I understood it was nothing that I can control. Uh, but I wanted other girls to know that they are beautiful in spite of uh, what others are saying about them, right? So that was one part of the Girls to Divas beginning. But the other part of it was just looking at the women that our young ladies have to look up to. And not that they are all negative women, but it's a little bit more negativity than positivity. And we need our girls to be seen as queens and not as thoughts, and seen as leaders and not savages. And, it just goes on and on and on. So just providing them with women who look like them, that they could look up to and lean on, is why Girls to Divas was started. And I had some other issues that I had to overcome as a child, and I didn't have anybody to talk to about it. Like, you have your family, but you don't want to go saying I'm being mentally abused or whatever to another family member. So I decided to keep it all into myself, and that did more damage than good. So
Right,
wanting
internalizing.
yeah, internalizing, exactly. So wanting girls to have a voice to someone outside of their family is another reason why Girls to Divas was started back in 2011.
I love that. And it's two things that I picked up from what you said. Number one, just the whole bullying thing. I experienced bullying as a child, and it's, it really damages a person, honestly, more than
Mm-hmm.
people understand. Like it just really scars a child. And you're right, like when you're growing up, that's such a fragile time in general. You're trying to learn yourself, and it's really sad and unfortunate when a child has to deal with someone bullying them, about their looks or just things like you mentioned that's out of your control. It already just
Right.
makes you feel so lonely, and it puts you in such a bad space. And another thing that you mentioned, just as far as what young women, what they should have to look up to. And right
Mm-hmm.
now, and like I said, I have a daughter too. And just as an older woman myself, like when I notice certain things in the media, I just kind of feel like children, young women should not have to view just certain things where your main role model is half naked all the time. And I'm not a prude or anything, but I'm just saying for a young child, if that's all they see, I just always kind of question certain artists, like, why do you have to do everything, with your butt hanging out?
Right.
Like,
Right.
and
Like, I get
and
it, but come
right, and
on.
I get the argument where it's like, oh well, you're responsible for what your child sees, and yes, everyone is responsible for what their children see, but are we necessarily with our children 24/7? Do we control every single thing they listen to, our intake? I mean, if they go to school, and I'm not speaking of the COVID situation, but in the normal world, if they go to school, I mean, you really can't control every single aspect once they get to a
You
particular
can't.
age. And I just feel like certain things shouldn't be thrown, in children's faces because they are
Mm-hmm.
impressionable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
And then we have the adults, and even myself in some ways, who've had moments as an adult where I experienced low self-esteem. And I had moments before I gained more weight where I wanted to be thicker because that was just the thing to be. Like, skinny girls weren't in, if you so to speak. But we shouldn't have to conform to that, to societal views of beauty. Like, oh, you can only be a thick woman to be seen as a beautiful woman. So it's a lot of growth that has to continue to take place even as adults. um, and we need some real women who can say that, and not women who are all trying to look alike.
right. And that's the thing. And that's why it's so important what you're doing to start them while they're young, because women in general, they're going to have enough to deal with when they get older.
Mhm.
Like there's still certain stereotypes or certain ridiculous standards that I feel like women are pressured sometimes. Are they, some women feel like they're obligated,
Right.
to attest to. So that's why I feel like what you're doing, especially the age group that you mentioned, that is like the age where a child truly is like a sponge. And you really can pour in either something really good into a child or something really bad into a child.
Yep.
And I'm speaking just from my personal experiences. I'm 43 years old. I just wrote a blog post today about things that occurred to me as a child. So that age is the age where it's the best time to pour into them self-esteem. Just like you
Mhm.
mentioned, you had dealings when you were an adult with low self-esteem. We all have. So that's
Right.
one thing that I feel is really important. So what are some of the activities? I know you mentioned you guys do enrichment with the children and everything. What are some of the activities that you guys do in the program with the kids?
Yeah. Yeah. So the very first thing we do once we get a group of girls, which we get a new group of divas every year. Our program starts in September, and we go all the way until June, and then we get more girls in September. Um, but our very first workshop is on knowing yourself
Mm.
and beginning to know yourself
Mm-hmm.
or getting reacquainted with yourself. So what we do is, and I actually got this from a young lady who I uh, look up to, um, Nikki. Her last name is leaving me, but she did this project, and I saw it, and I was like, we have to do this for Girls to Divas. So we put each girl in front of a mirror, and they have to say three things about themselves that's not external, but three things about themselves from the inside that no one else knows about them, that they could look in the mirror and say to themselves and speak to themselves about. And it always there's moments when the girls are just kind of laughing and not taking it serious, but then you have a group of girls who look in that mirror and find it really hard to say something positive about themselves outside of the features, that they have long hair or that they have long lashes or pretty brown eyes. It takes them a long time to look past that and just speak to the person, the character, the person inside of them. And we have girls that cry, and some that just look in the mirror and don't know what to say. So it's like a moment where me as a social worker have to come in and just use some positive reinforcement to just be there with them in that moment. But that's the very first activity we do with them. And some other things we do are vision board exercises. Um, we go over leadership skills. So we have folks come in and talk to them about what it's like to be a leader. They get some practice in, be it, standing tall like a leader, speaking like a leader. So public speaking exercises. We do entrepreneurship workshops with them when it comes to building a business, from the name all the way into to the budget, to the business plan. Um, we do some life skill development, just dealing with your emotions. We cover it all. So our mission, I don't believe I mentioned this, but our mission is to help the next generation of women discover their purpose in life, reinvent their self-esteem, and develop life, social, communication, leadership, entrepreneurial, job, and college skills.
Mm.
So we try to cover all aspects of life to make sure that they're prepared for this real world when they step out, that they're self-sufficient, and that what comes in front of them, they may not know everything about it, but they may have seen it through Girls to Divas.
That is absolutely beautiful. And how long has this program been open?
2011.
Wow, that is
Yes,
amazing. So,
yes, yes.
wow. So, what are some of the success stories since it's been like, I mean, about almost 10 years? Have you like
Mm-hmm,
had any
mm-hmm.
pride and joy in seeing some of your past mentees, come back and see how they've grown and developed in life?
Definitely. We've had a couple of success stories. Being that we're a small organization, and really just a one woman show on my end for the programmatic side of
Mm-hmm.
things, uh, we haven't in the past been able to track how we are now when it comes to pre-test and post-test and following up with girls. But the few girls that I have kept in touch with, they've graduated from high school. Some of them have entered into college. They're working. So all of that is success to me because they're headed in the right direction. They even have seeked out mentors as adults, which is great. Some of them have come back to volunteer with Girls to Divas, which is fantastic. And I run into their parents around town every now and then, and they'll update me on how our diva's doing. So that's always good. So um, a few success stories, and we're getting better with tracking that success so that we could make it loudly heard about the work that's being done and the effectiveness of the organization. But I'm just happy to hear those few stories from myself to know that, we're doing something.
Right. That is beautiful. So I know, I mean, you obviously mentioned, the background with your childhood and also that you're a social worker. So what was your journey, as an adult in the professional world getting to this moment of starting the program? I think we chatted briefly about, stepping out on faith, and we talk about that a lot on the show, and going into business
Yeah.
amongst yourself. And I know you mentioned, and I think that's amazing to pour that into the young girls about the beauty of entrepreneurship. I think that's something that needs to be taught more for younger kids. I think sometimes we condition kids to get a job. And not that I'm saying every single employment situation is a negative one, but I also feel like that's something that we should also teach kids. Hey, you can own a business. You can be your
Right.
own innovator. So what was your journey in your professional history getting to this point to start the mentorship program on your own?
Yep. So let's see. I came up to Tallahassee in 2007. Wasn't my plan to come to college. I'm actually a dancer.
Okay.
And um, it was my goal to continue to dance professionally behind artists. As I was doing my senior year of high school, I had the opportunity to dance behind a few well-known artists, and I wanted to continue that. But my aunt asked me who I was living with. She was like, "Well, what if you twist your ankle? What are you going to do then? You don't have a backup plan." And I said I didn't consider that. So she said you should consider college. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll go to college and be a pharmacist like you, right? I'll be a pharmacist, make all this money. Coming to FAMU and trying to get into their pharmacy school, you have to have like a 3.0 or something crazy exiting high school. And I didn't have that because school really wasn't on my mind in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up getting into FAMU, got into the food science program, wasn't really cracked up about that. And one summer, God told me to take a social work course, took a social work course and fell in love with it. It was African American Families in Social Work. And I was like, this book is my life. Every page of it is my life. Like this, there's a whole major out here for this.
Mm.
And I immediately changed my major after being in food science for almost 3 years. My aunt thought, she was like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you do that? But I did. And it was the best choice that I made because that's who I am. I've always been a person who was down for the cause to help someone else. My very first experience mentoring was actually in high school, Girl Power, a mentoring program in Liberty City. Um, I went to volunteer one summer with their girls, and while I was there being the summer dance teacher, um, I was also mentoring the girls. So that was my first step into mentoring, but I always had this thing for helping other people, and I still do. So social work was the best thing. And while I was pursuing my bachelor's in social work, in 2011, that's when I began to start Girls to Divas. So I didn't have any previous work experience. I just started it, with the little education that I had. Hadn't even graduated yet, but God had a calling on my life, and I just started moving on it.
Mm.
And from there, we've just been able to grow and grow and grow. It hasn't been a easy walk, as I knew it wasn't going to be. But we're still standing almost now 10 years later, come next year. And I'm looking for ways for us to grow, to continue to be around for another 10, 20, 30
Oh,
years.
yes.
So super excited about the future of Girls to Divas. But as far as like my profession as a social worker, I've worked in different arenas. Started as a case manager for the Children's Home Society, and that was interesting because I was once a child who was a part of the DCF system.
Okay.
It didn't get to the point of going into a shelter, but I was removed from my mom. So the experiences that these children were going through, I saw the other side of it as their case manager, and so that was just a come together moment
Mm.
for me, just seeing both sides of that. And then from there I went into working with moms and babies through another program, and I did that as a care coordinator. So I would go into the homes, meet with the moms and babies, and my first client was a 13-year-old
Mm.
pregnant
Oh,
girl.
wow.
I had to go meet with her at her school
Mm.
every single week,
Wow.
and trying to get her to focus on baby while she's trying to focus on school was kind of impossible, understandably, because she's 13 years
Right.
old.
She's a child.
She's a child, exactly. So did that, and then I had the opportunity to work as a contract manager for the same program that I worked with, boots on the ground with the care coordination with the pregnant women and babies. So that's my journey as a social worker to this point.
That's excellent and a good thing. I mean, having that background, obviously, I feel like that gives you way more to pour into the young girls. As far as your program, so how does everything work as far as the staff? Like, is it just yourself, or do you like how does it work with the mentors and the people that you bring into the program to help work with the children?
Yep. So when it comes to the programmatic side, it's just me
Okay.
right now. Um, we are looking for grants so that we could fund some part-time staff to help out on the programmatic side, help run the program.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's just me. I also have a board of five amazing board members who help with the board aspect of things, just making sure that everything that we do, we're doing it under the mission of the organization and
Right.
nothing outside of that, and making sure we're spending money appropriately. So the board helps out on that aspect. And thank God for interns. The interns come through every semester. We've developed a relationship with Florida A&M University, where I graduated from the social work program, and the students come through every semester and they help out tremendously and they keep the program functioning. When it comes to the one-on-one mentoring, Girls to Divas is everywhere. So every time there's a function, back pre-COVID, if there's a function in Tallahassee for any population, Girls to Divas is there because we know that there's somebody there that could be a benefit to us and we could be a benefit to them.
Mm.
So we are always tabling. It don't matter what the cause is. We're setting up our table. So if we're doing a event and it's a breast cancer awareness event, you could come to our table and we could educate you, play some educational games, and have the girls there on breast cancer. But also, hey, we're Girls to Diva is a free program. Do you have a 5th through 12th grade in your home, or do you know someone interested in becoming a mentor, or do you know someone who would be interested in board membership? Do you know somebody interested in being a sponsor? So we're just always out and about, and that's how we're able to gain our mentors as well as our mentees, because we're always out and about. So the mentors go through a little process.
Mm-hmm.
They do their application, and after the application, we do some screening. They have to do a background check, just level one, and we interview them one on one.
Okay.
And then after that, we pair them up based off of interest and personality.
So with the girls, is there like what do you look for as far as, the children that participate? And does it kind of center on different schools, or like do you guys have a particular school that you work with? Like how do you find the kids too? And is there like a limit on the number of children that you have per semester? Because I know you said like they're in the program for like a full year.
Yes.
Okay. How, like what's the like is there a particular number of kids you work with each year?
So So we have a cap at 30 and we've reached 30, but as the year dwindles down, it may go down to 20 to 15. So we always open the doors up for at least 30 girls every year. And those same girls can return. We have some reoccurring divas
Okay.
who have been with us for years. Actually, one of our divas, she just turned 15
Mm.
and she started the program when she was 11,
Huh.
10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
So just seeing her matriculate through school and now she's a young woman in high school, it's mind blowing. But again, we're all around Tallahassee all the time. So anytime there's an event, we're there and we get girls too to sign up with their parents. So that's how we build our list. We don't have a specific zone of a specific school. We work with all of the girls in Leon County
Okay.
in my area.
That's amazing.
But again, thank you. We're expanding. We're expanding. I would love to tell you about how we're expanding.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely all ears.
So, because of COVID, we have been just trying to figure things out on how we could continue to provide programming to the girls over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, the first year, this is our first year putting on a summer camp, and it's a virtual summer camp, and we call it Club Quarantine.
Aw.
Thanks to my friend Jamal. I was like, I need help with the name. We need something catchy. He was like, Club Quarantine. I was like, I actually like how that sounds.
Right, right.
So we have this free summer camp that's 2 months long. It started June 1st and it ends August 2nd. We have a end of the summer showcase that the interns and I are working on for the Divas, where they'll be presenting everything that they learned over the summer. So it's pretty cool. But this opportunity has allowed us to expand our reach. So while COVID has been a whole lot of emotions and sadness and depression, it has also brought about opportunity, right?
Yes.
So we've been blessed with the opportunity to reach more girls. So I'm excited that starting in September, we're going to be able to serve girls wherever. We're putting out an all call for mentors and mentees wherever you are. And once we get to our certain cap, um, then we'll close the doors. But I'm just excited for the possibilities for us to reach beyond our imagination when it comes to mentoring girls.
That is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Like, the more I'm hearing, I'm like, wow, this is really exciting. And like I said, I'm so big on empowerment. And you're actually the first guest I've had that is doing the same thing, but with younger children, and just young girls
Mm-hmm.
at that impressionable age. And I just think it's amazing because,
Thank you.
that's one thing that I needed to touch on with the show, because we always talk about, empowerment as grown women, but there's a stage prior, to that. And the good thing about what you're doing is hopefully it will prevent some of these girls from experiencing some of, the pitfalls you and I have had, with self-esteem, or just not being comfortable and not having someone to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one of the main blessings too that, I'm picking up just from hearing everything that you're saying, just from your experience and working with the girls and this awesome program. And like I said, we're big on empowerment on the podcast. From your perspective, how important is it to empower young women?
Man, they are us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Literally, they reflect us and we reflect them. So we have to pour into them all that we have about everything. There's really no holding back. These young girls are our sisters, our daughters, and we have to see them in that way and care for them and nurture them in that way, because they are our future. And I mean, I believe in the power of mentoring so much because I've seen it be effective. I've seen girls come through the program and get paired up with a mentor who remains a part of their life to this day and continues to just push them. Sometimes all you need is a push. You just need a little bit of support. And some of our girls are just missing that little push or that little support. And having that mentor to help you and guide you and be your support system, cheer you on is all you may need to press on. And we do that through mentoring. If our girls have more mentors, their futures are are brighter, and we can help them become their best selves now, not later,
Yes.
but now. And we can tell them that their opinions matter now, and that their voice matters now, and their dreams matter now. Like, you're not too young to dream. You can dream now. You can do it now. You can be whatever you set your heart out to be. So a mentor brings that into realization, and our girls need it because they don't believe in themselves as they should. They don't love themselves as they should.
Right.
They don't have the support as they should. So it hurts my heart to even say it, but this is the reality of our girls. And providing them with a mentor that will keep them focused and keep them on track and put a smile on their face, tell them that they're beautiful, will go a long way.
Wow, you just said a mouthful. So, with everything that you're doing, and like I said, what you said was so poignant and it's true. um, but what do you pour into yourself? Because obviously, in order to be a role model, you have to feel fulfilled, and you have to have, your spirits up, and you have to,
Mhm.
have that great self esteem and be motivated. What keeps you going
Yeah,
every day, so that you can pour into the girls?
definitely. Definitely. That's a really good question. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I am very much a human being going through this human experience,
Mm-hmm.
and my emotions go up and down just like the girls. My my days go up and down just like the girls. So for me, at this point, what I have grown and understood, the only way that I can get through this is with God,
Mm,
with having faith, and not just leaning on God, but literally giving it all to Him to take care of and tell me how to go left, right, stop, slow down, speed up, don't do that again. I just look for Him to guide me every step of the way, and to keep me at peace, when I'm going through these experiences in my personal life, and to not allow it to affect whatever else is going on around me. I look for him to keep me at peace, to keep me grounded, to keep me level headed. And in those moments when life is just too much, I do go into my shell.
mm-hmm.
Uh, but what God has done as well, He allows me to serve others. And it's kind of my way of healing,
Mm,
going through whatever it is that I'm dealing with. Is okay, if I can't help out in this way, or if I'm not, if things aren't working out in this manner, I know that if I serve, I can never go wrong.
mm.
Uh, so let me serve, let me serve. So I get lost in service. I really do. And I can't say that it's always the healthiest thing to do, to just overexert myself the way I do when it comes to service, because I go in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm everywhere trying to serve
Yes.
others. But it's my healing process. And I believe that's why God gave me Girls to Divas. And it's why He gave me my other future ventures, because it allows me to heal while I'm healing others
That is
through
amazing.
through Him.
That's absolutely amazing. And I do feel like when people have a spirit of just using their testimony and using that the scars that they've been through
Mm-hmm.
to serve others, there's like, it's kind of indescribable what that does. I just had a therapy session today, and I was mentioning to the therapist how, I wrote a blog post and all the things that I'm trying to do with the things that I experienced. And he asked me how it made me feel. And I'm like, well, for me personally, I just can't take it to one step that, okay, I'm going to work on healing through this. I also want to help someone else, because there's
Right.
always someone else that it's not at the same level you're at. There's always someone else, like once you get past something, there's always someone else that's still where you used to be. And they just need
Mm-hmm.
someone to extend their hand and pull them, to get from where they're at. So that's the joy in serving, that I think people don't necessarily touch on. Even today someone messaged me, "Oh, what you said needs to be said." A lot of people, we kind of underestimate the fact that some people really, like I said, they need that hand to pull them. They want that
Mm-hmm.
hand, someone extended, and to just pull and help them. And it
Mm-hmm.
is a good feeling, and it's something that we should do more just to help the next person, so that they aren't
Right.
repeating certain things, so that they aren't in the same pain that we once were in. And like you said, we're all human. Everyone has highs and lows. We have good and bad
Mm-hmm.
days, but
Mm-hmm.
the greatness is when you can keep going and be motivated and still help someone, and that is a beautiful thing. So
Definitely.
with your program now, and I know you said right now, and obviously COVID was just such a weird situation, because I feel like once everyone got over the initial shock, a lot of us kind of benefited from just this whole virtual aspect, because
Yeah.
virtual, obviously we can reach more people. So that was
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
flip side, and how, I think all of us creatives like yourself and myself were able to transform the situation and make it work for our platform. So, like, I know you said that you guys have touched on some great states and extended past Florida, and in September,
Yes.
you guys are growing. Where do you see your program? If you had to sit back now and say, hey, this is what I want to see for Girls to Divas in like the next year or the next 5 years or so, where would you like to see the program go? Like, what are your endeavors for really getting it out there? Like, what would you truly like to see with the program? Because like I said, who knows who will listen to this podcast, and they may be able to step in and just bless everything. What would you like to see for your program? And also for anyone that's listening, what would you like to ask for people to do? Like, there may be some ways and people could help, whether it's just following the page, donating, spreading the word. How can everyone help you get to the level that you would like to be with your program?
Certainly, certainly. That's a loaded question, because the way God allows my mind to work, I see the world.
Mm-hmm.
I see the world for Girls to Divas. So, and let's see, the next 1 year from now, I would like to see satellite locations. I would like for us to be in different states, as we're already moving to, but really have our feet planted in these different locations. Here in Tallahassee, a year from now, I would love for us to have our own space. Right now, we are operating out of a church, Philadelphia Primitive Baptist Church. Shout out to Pastor Price, uh, for allowing us to use that space, the church, as well as his van. But future goals is to have our own space and have our own mode of transportation, have a fully funded staff to help run the program, and also have funding to back up the program needs as far as supplies and materials needed to execute the program, even down to being able to cover the background checks for our mentors so that they don't have to pay for it. Uh, so more funding would bring about all of those things. And I've been applying for grants like crazy. And uh, so if someone knows about a grant, send it over.
I hear you.
Send it over so that we could apply and try to get some of this funding to sustain the organization. 5 years from now, Girls to Divas has the ability to morph into a day school,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that that's necessary, to go ahead and incorporate the educational aspect of things, and while we're providing the leadership skills, the life skills, and the social skills and communication skills, that they're also able to be enriched with the reading, math, and arithmetic. Uh, so taking it to the next level and actually forming a school. And what we also have been trying to do for some years and haven't done it yet is to start a something like a musical theater production. I
Okay.
believe that our youth can really change the way they interact with each other and what they listen to and what they spend their time doing if they had more positive things to do and listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to bullying, Girls to Divas, I'm actually looking at one of our events a few years ago. We had a whole CD. It didn't actually turn into a CD, but we had a CD case and we had the tracks. It was real cute, but each track had a title. So the first one was self esteem and bullying and rights, etiquette, community service, healthy relationships. So each track took a song that was popular to the girls. Let me see if I could actually
Okay.
remember one for you to kind of sing it a little bit.
Okay.
uh, for entrepreneurship, right?
Mm-hmm.
We use All I Do Is Win by DJ
Oh
Khaled.
yeah.
All I do is lead, lead, lead. I'm a boss. Make money and I grind. I'm never giving up. And every time I think about a business, I just send the prayer up and let it stay there.
Oh,
So
I love that.
turning this that one song into like a production around entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
and whereas they're singing and dancing and we are able to travel from state to state putting on these shows about entrepreneurship, about bullying, about voting, all these different areas that's important to youth, but doing it through musical theater is that element of Girls to Divas that I know will really take us to the next level, because that's a different take on education and music. So I believe there's a word. Is it edutainment?
Mm-hmm.
So mixing the education with the entertainment is where I see us in 5 years, and just going from state to state, and even being asked to come to the White House and put on a showcase about voting or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I'm still stuck on the DJ Khaled, you know, parody. I love that. Like that is very creative. That is absolutely amazing. So I noticed when I looked at your IG, you also mentioned that you help everyday influencers, everyday people, and businesses serve people. So can you elaborate on that? Like, how do you? And I know obviously you have that entrepreneurship spirit, and you're teaching that to the young women, which I feel, like I said, is I kind of feel like we don't push entrepreneurship amongst the children, and they're like the
Mhm.
perfect candidates to talk to about
Oh,
entrepreneurship. They're young, they have fresh ideas. Quite frankly, they got the energy that we don't have, so
hmm.
like they're the perfect candidates. But just in general, I noticed when you mentioned that, like, how do you help everyday influencers and businesses serve people?
So this is my first time publicly saying this, but I'm stepping out. I've already stepped out on a new business venture, a for-profit business venture,
Mm,
as a business consultant doing community engagement work. So the name of my business is the Community Plug.
okay.
And as the Community Plug, I am connecting individuals, businesses, influencers with their community. I run into a lot of individuals who want to serve but don't know how. They don't know where to start or anything. So I take the time to figure out what it is that they're most passionate about, and then from there, curate an opportunity for them to serve in their community. And this could be a fundraising goal, or it can just be, I want to give back sweaters, but doing it to the next level, not just your everyday sweater give back, but really taking things up to a notch, a notch you didn't think it can go to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also working with businesses. There's businesses that don't have any give back initiatives or philanthropic efforts. They would work with me, and I would develop what that would look like based on what their mission and purpose is of their business, and then curating an opportunity for them as well as their employees. If their employees isn't involved in the community, a good way to retain employees is to have them serve,
Mm-hmm.
do more than just be in that community, but actually serve in that community that you're working in. So I would do those opportunities for them, as well as influencers who have so much influence, but can do more work in the community. So that's the community plug, and I'm
Nice.
super excited about it. Super excited.
When's this starting? And is this just in Florida? Because if not, I may have to talk to you after we're done. Is this just strictly in Florida?
No, this is for wherever,
Oh, girl, you
wherever
may
you
get
are.
a client after we hang up because I'm loving this.
Wherever you are.
When are you starting
Yes.
this?
So funny thing is, while I just came up with the name, God gave me the name about a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've been kind of testing some clients. Have a girlfriend who has a dentistry, and she hit me up. She was like, "Janay, I know you want to, do something with people in the community and businesses, and you know." I have my dentist office now, and we want to do something in the community, but we want to do more than just pass out toothbrushes. What can we do? Help me.
Nice.
And I was like, yes, I'm your girl. This is exactly, these are the people I want to call me.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that little bit of information and me knowing the type of person she is, she's into the bright colors, and obviously she loves kids. She works at she has her own pediatric dentistry. So we put together a dental fair. So there's going to be the games aspect pre-COVID, the games aspect, with the bounce houses and all of the rides, but also that education, dental education poured and mixed into it. And also doing a fundraiser, bringing in all of the dentists from our area to raise funds for her foundation. So that's just like one of the ways that I'm able to, God is allowing me to work with people, and I'm just really thrilled about it. So I'm already in business. I'm already working.
Mm-hmm.
So just
Okay.
hit me up. I'm ready. I'm ready to work.
I love that. I mean, that's an amazing idea. And like I said, we'll definitely have to talk after we're done
Okay.
recording. I really, really, truly, truly love that. What inspired you to think of this idea?
So this is just another one of my callings,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
honestly. I'm just that person that's connected, and I make myself connected. I'll go out of my way to get a connection,
Mm,
um, to make it, if it's for serving others.
right.
If it's for any other cause, you can miss me. But if it's for the service of others, I'll step in any room, I'll approach anybody to help someone else. So with that, God was like, you need to connect the community with individuals who want to give back, with businesses who need to give back, influencers who need to give back. And so the community plug came about.
I love that. That is an amazing idea. So, one thing I want to round out with it's two different things I want to round out with. Before we get to one last part, something I wanted to try and start incorporating in each episode is to ask each guest, and you're going to be perfect for this question, is how do you define a queen? So obviously, since you're working with our young women and you've already notated just certain things that is important for young women and even women our age to be able to see and to be able to have as examples, how do you define a queen?
I would define a queen as someone who is themselves.
Mm,
I believe to be a queen, you have to really walk in your own path, and be confident in who you are and not try to be like anybody else. Queens are themselves. They're nobody else. They're every queen is being exactly who she is, and like nobody else.
amazing. So, another lasting thing I want to give you the floor. What would be like just your lasting thing? If, from anyone that listens to the episode, what would be one of the main things you would want them to take away, just from your mission? Everything, your whole purpose. What would be one of the main things you would like them to take away from your whole mission, your purpose, the interview, everything you're trying to do with the young women? Like, what would be the main thing you would want people to take away from this interview?
Main thing I would say is that wherever you are, you need to turn around and help someone else that's younger. and lift them up wherever you are. Take advantage of the time that you have and use it where you could make a difference in a child's life, because they again are our future, and we as adults have that power to make a positive influence and impact them for the rest of their lives. So be a part of the change.
We end it.
Thank
Really, really
you.
amazing. So
Thank you.
before we end everything, I want you to give everyone all your contact information, where they can find you, like all your contact information, your websites, social media handles, everything. So just throw out all your contact information for everyone listening.
Awesome, awesome. So you can find me on Instagram. My personal page is Humbly Yours Janay, and that's Humbly Yours Janay. You can follow Girls to Divas page on Instagram at girls the number two divas DIVAS underscore mentoring. You can also email us at girls to divas at Gmail, as well as my personal white.janay.a as an apple at Gmail. And let's see, that's Instagram, that's email. And yeah, I'm also on Facebook. You can look me up, Janay White, Janay White on Facebook. And Girls to Divas need your support. Wherever you are, you can be of service. You can be a board member from wherever you are. We're living in a virtual world. This is the perfect time if you want to step out and be a board member. We're currently looking for somebody with an accountant background. We're looking for someone with a legal background, someone with curriculum development background to help our program run better. And we're also looking for mentors from all over. So if you're interested in being a mentor, you could visit our website. That's www.girls2divas.org and complete the application there to become a mentor. And also, if you have a daughter, a cousin, if you're an auntie, the little girl down the street that you know that would benefit from Girls to Divas, we would love to take them all in and to be a part of this tribe. So they can also apply on our website to become a mentee. And we're always, always, always looking for support, uh, donations. We have at least 30 girls at a time. If you want to donate lip gloss, donate uh, a folder, whatever. We take just about anything to give it to the girls. And also sponsors. We're always looking for those who are just willing to truly pour that investment into us to allow us to continue to grow and make this impact.
That's amazing. So everyone heard that. She gave all the information, and I just want to put it out there for people that's listening. If anyone took in what they should have soaked in from this conversation, we spoke about the future, and that's what these children are. They're the future. As she mentioned, like, we need these kids, and we all started out someplace. Like, we didn't all just wake up one morning as queens. We had to go through a journey to get to where we're at. And the mission of someone like Miss Janay is to cater to these young girls, pour into these young children, pour into these futures, because they're all futures. They're our future leaders. They're our future presidents. They're our
Mhm.
future business owners. They're our future professionals, teachers, doctors, lawyers, you name it. It is within these children that she's working with. So if we all can just have that mindset to be more mindful of what we do as an example for young kids, and just also organizations like this, if it takes us a donation, and it doesn't even have to be monetary, just donating products, donating your time, it
Mhm.
all serves a purpose, because these children are our futures. And it's not a corny thing, but it's true. The children seriously are our futures. They're going to grow to be our leaders, and we have to be mindful to just cater to them, and also to help so that they don't fall into some of the pitfalls that we may have fallen into, whether that has been low self-esteem or not really truly valuing ourselves. And as everyone knows, I'm big on telling people, Go love yourself. Go queen. You're the privilege. You're the prize in the package. But let's start while they're young. Let's let them know now. You're the privilege. You're the prize, and you're the package right now. You're valuable and you're precious. And just imagine how far these kids will go. Just to hear that every single day. Some of us didn't get that every day, but just imagine to have the chance to change time, to give them something that we didn't get. So I want to thank you so much, Miss Janay. Like I said, what you're doing is absolutely amazing, and I really think it's a beautiful thing. And I pray that God blesses it. I already know it's going to grow to what you want it to be, because, like I said, you have a beautiful mission, and I already know we're already claiming it that it's going to be everything and beyond your wildest dreams, what you're anticipating for your program. And I thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you. And maybe we could do some level of partnership, and your Queen community could do some work with Girls to Divas.
I'm already thinking that, and we're going to discuss
All
it.
right.
We're
All
going to
right.
discuss it as soon as we're done recording. You already read my mind because, like I said, you're already speaking to me. So it was definitely a divine connection for us to meet. And like I said, I am 100% excited for you, and I definitely want to pitch in and help in any way I can. But we're going to hurry up and end the recording so we can get to chatting. So
All righty.
thank you so much for being a part of
Thank
the
you.
show. Thank you for listening to the Q Chat podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Queen's Arrogance LLC. Our company website is www.goqueen.com.